Evening everybody, it's Rachel again, 2 nights in a row with another live. I'm going to invite Jenny to come on and talk about her home ed journey. It'll just be 10 minutes. We're trying to get as many different home educators as possible, ideally from all over the world. So if you're interested, definitely send me a message. But I'm going to invite her on now. I've got my timer ready, got my water, got a bit. Oh, I think that's her. Hi, Jenny.
Hiya.
Hi, nice to meet
You
you.
just got a close-up view of my curtains then,
Oh,
because they're
it happens
balanced
to
against.
everyone. Yeah, we've had like someone's sock drawer, we've had a window, we've had all sorts of things. How are you? Have you had a good day?
Yeah, it's been a lovely day actually. I had a bit of a busy day on a Thursday, but I've just spent a couple of hours in the garden,
Oh,
so
very
I'm
nice.
feeling nice and
Yeah,
fresh.
we went to our allotment club this afternoon, so I feel like just that right amount of like tired, but in a good way. So, right, I'm going to start the timer now. Here it is, 10
Okay.
minutes. So, I already introduced you as Jenny, but do you want to tell us a little bit more about who you are and who you home educate and anything that you think is important for us to know about you?
Yep. So, yeah, I'm Jenny. I live in Devon, on the coast. We're about 10 minutes walk from the beach. It's lovely. I've got three little ones. So I've got a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So officially only home edding one. But yeah, so yeah, chaos, as you can probably imagine in our house.
Yeah.
Um, and I work part-time. I do breastfeeding support and a lactation consultant and various other little roles. And I'm an ex-teacher. I'm one of those primary school teachers who have gone to the other side.
Yeah, I feel like there's some similarities here because mine are similar ages. We've got the same kind of complexion going on. And I don't live near the coast, but I wish I did. And also an ex-primary school teacher as well. I think there's a lot of us, definitely.
Yeah.
We're going to pick up a little bit later about you, the kind of part-time work that you do. But first, can you tell us 3 words that describe your home ed journey or three phrases?
Yeah, I got two straight away, and I was pondering the third.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for flexible. That's kind of the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of semi-structured. I have a few ideas. I love planning because I trained in planning.
Yeah.
So I love planning things. I like having a little bit of structure, but as you imagine with a 2-year-old, it can be chaos. So sometimes, yeah, things get switched around. You know, if I have any work on, which is all over the place, it's not structured. So, yeah, it very, very flexible. I think my second one's probably outdoorsy. I
Mm-hmm.
try my hardest to be outside as much as possible. We've been last year we did the 1,000 hours challenge, and we're doing that again this year because I think it really kept us outside as much as possible, doing just things that we'd normally do it inside and just moving them
Yeah.
outside. So we that's one of the reasons why I wanted home ed actually, to get more outside.
Yeah.
Um, and then finally, I think I would go for minimalist.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I am a bit of a minimalist in terms of kind of only getting things if I feel like they're really needed. Um, Partly because of money. I haven't got loads of money to swing around at things. Partly environmentally, partly just I can't cope with too much stuff. It stresses me out. So I think our home ed is quite minimalist. I try and not pack too much in and not get too much stuff, and try and borrow things, I suppose, like things like using the library and things like that, rather than getting actual things to
Yeah.
keep.
Yeah, I
So
like
yeah, I
that
think
because it can be. It's like it's overwhelming, like brain wise, but then the things can be overwhelming as well. And then it just, I find it like saps my energy when there's just a lot of stuff around. I didn't prep you with this question, but what would you say your like essentials that you definitely have to, well, have to is a bit strong, but what would you say is like the minimalist kit for home ed?
um, paper and pencils,
Yeah.
just paper of just varying descriptions. So I suppose that's probably the biggest amount of our stuff is
Mhm.
kind of craft type paper type things.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, I don't know. I try and borrow where possible. So a library card,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
library card is essential. I think I've got about 55 books out at the moment because
that's impressive.
each of my children can get
Yeah,
20, so we max it out a bit. So yeah, library card. I don't know. I try and pick resources that can be multi-use. So we've got things like multi-link type cubes because they can be used for lots of different things. Anything that's kind of manipulative, I try and just think only get it if it's kind of for more than one purpose, I
yeah,
suppose.
yeah. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. So you work part time in a very flexible, like it's not a 9 till 5 or a 9 till 3 kind of job. How do you balance that? And I mentioned that I don't like the word balance because I know it's not really possible, but how do you flourish while doing that and home editing?
Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Similar to who you spoke to yesterday. Yeah, it's tricky. So I've got about 3 different roles, possibly 4. So some of them are a little bit structured in terms of there's a monthly meeting and there's kind of set things.
Yeah.
So they're easier to cope with, I think, because I can pre-warn the husband. We know that it's coming up, and actually a lot of it, because it's breastfeeding support, a lot of my kind of supporting. So I support breastfeeding counsellors in the area, and most of them are volunteers. So there's a little bit more informality,
Yeah.
and because it's breastfeeding support, they're used to my 2-year-old coming and climbing on me halfway through a meeting.
Yeah.
That's okay. So yeah, so that's quite good. My kind of private business is much harder to juggle, because I can't, paid for clients. Can't have a random child
Yeah.
wandering in. So that's just tricky, and that's why we're so flexible, I think, because when they crop up, we just have to completely change our plans, and it can crop up. Like I'm dealing with newborns sometimes, so
And they're not predictable. They're not
call me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I need to go like that evening or the next day,
Yeah.
and that's.
Yeah. How do you think your kids benefit from that? There's a lot of us, I think a lot more of us now who are, thankfully there are maybe more creative ways of working at the same time, especially for women. But there's a lot of us who have part-time jobs, and sometimes we can beat ourselves up about it. But is there any like benefits that you see for your children through that?
I think the biggest benefit is probably more for me having my own thing, and then they see that mummy is more than just mummy.
Yeah.
So it's probably more a big benefit for me, but they see that, and they see the other side to me, I suppose. I don't know if they really understand that I work half the time, because I do volunteer stuff as well, and we go and visit, like we do a breastfeeding group on a Thursday morning that's volunteer, and they come along with me. I don't think they fully understand that I actually get paid for some bits. They think I just go and help mums, and I'm very nice at helping mums. But I'm sure as they get older, like that'll be a nice benefit that they understand that there are different ways of bringing in money, not just going off to place.
Yeah, and even just I imagine meeting lots of different women as well. For them, it must be interesting to see a lot of different people and different babies, and I'd love to be your kid.
I run it's lovely, a great social thing for the kids to get involved with, tiny little ones and new mums. Bring them cake. They serve them cake and things. It's a nice experience.
Oh, that's really nice. So there's obviously benefits, but I guess what would you say is, and this doesn't have to be just related to working from home, but are there any tensions or difficulties that you find in home ed, or struggles? You can be as specific or as broad as you like, but I think it's good for us to hear about some of the hard things as well.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me is not having time away. That kind of not have it's quite all consuming. And my time away is when I'm visiting a client. So I'm actually not really having any time to myself, and I think that's the hardest thing. The fact that you can't kind of have a little bit of a break. And I think that's the most challenging. I need to do better at finding time for
It's
the
hard though,
breaks.
isn't it? Because you have to have enough energy and like creativity to figure it out, but you need the break in order to have the creativity to do it. Do you think it's like a season of it with having like the younger kids? Do you think it's going to get easier? I'm hoping so.
I'm hoping so. That's what I keep saying. I hope so.
Yeah, sometimes like we're at the park and they're actually like off playing and they don't need me, and I read a chapter of a book the other day at the park and I was like, this might be what my future holds. But yeah, my youngest is 3, so you can't switch off at all really. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to check the time. We have 30 seconds left, so really simple. What is like the one piece of advice you would give someone who was having one of those wobbles and thinking, I'm done?
I think just take a break. I think we've had moments, in fact recently, coming out of winter, I think it's always a bit of a hard bit.
Yeah.
And just those wobbles happen, and I just take a step back and just think, doesn't matter, let's just do something else for a week. Let's not worry about anything. Let's just kind of recharge, whether that's going to the beach or just playing in the garden. Ideally moan to someone about it, find someone to talk to about it, and then just reassess then. We always talk in the breastfeeding world about never quitting on a bad day, like always awake. And I think that's same thing. You get in those wobbles, and it's normal to wobble.
Yeah. And kids are like, it's unpredictable, just like with breastfeeding. You can't necessarily predict what different growth spurts are going to happen or how it's going to go that day. And I like that. Just like take a break, and there's no shame in just stepping back from it. And we give that advice to other people, but sometimes it's hard to take it ourselves as well. But that's 10 minutes done. It always goes so quickly. I'm always surprised when the beats go off. But thank you so much for joining us, Jenny. I'm sure you're happy with people following you along on your Instagram journey and chatting with you more then. Thank you very much. I would love to come along to all these breastfeeding meetings. I've got like intense baby fever right now because everyone I know is having babies. But I tried to do my husband, but it wasn't happening. So just have to do it through other people. Anyway, that's oversharing, I'm sorry. But thank you so much. And I'll see you around on the Instagram soon. Bye.
Bye.